For years I thought I was doing everything right in my garden. I added compost, I mulched heavily, I even tried organic fertilizers that promised miracle harvests. But no matter what I did, my plants always seemed to hit a ceiling. They'd grow, sure, but they never exploded with the kind of vitality I saw in other gardens. It was frustrating, like I was missing some invisible piece of the puzzle. Then one day, I stumbled onto the truth about soil oxygen. And let me tell you, once I understood this hidden factor, my entire garden transformed before my eyes. We gardeners talk endlessly about nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, as if they're the only ingredients that matter. But the real secret to soil health isn't just food, it's air. Oxygen is the forgotten nutrient, and without it, your soil is basically holding its breath. Think of it this way, you can eat all the healthy food in the world, but if you can't breathe, your body shuts down. Plants are the same. Roots need oxygen to function. Without it, they suffocate, and no amount of fertilizer can save them. When soil becomes compacted or waterlogged, those tiny air pockets disappear. That's when the problems start. Roots rot, beneficial microbes die off, harmful bacteria take over. You end up with stunted plants, yellowing leaves, and soil that feels heavy and lifeless. I realized this was exactly what had been happening in my own garden. I was overfeeding and overwatering, but I wasn't letting my soil breathe. Once I made oxygen my focus, everything shifted. The first thing I did was address compaction. Like many gardeners, I used to step directly on my beds until aggressively every spring. I thought I was fluffing up the soil, but what I was really doing was crushing its delicate structure. The fix? I switched to permanent garden beds where I never step on the growing area. I invested in a broadfork, which gently opens deep channels without flipping or disturbing the layers. The result was instant. Water drained better, roots went deeper, and suddenly I could feel my soil becoming lighter and more alive. Next, I turned to organic matter. At first I made the mistake of dumping tons of grass clippings, thinking more was better. But too much wet, fine material actually smothers the soil, creating an oxygen-poor mess. The key, I learned, is balance. Compost, shredded leaves, and aged manure are perfect because they add structure as well as nutrients. They act like a sponge, holding moisture while leaving just enough space for air to flow. Once I started layering coarse and fine materials instead of overloading with one type, my soil started to breathe again. Cover crops were my third breakthrough. Plants like radishes, rye, and clover aren't just fillers. They're oxygen factories. Their roots punch through compacted layers, creating natural air tunnels. When those roots decompose, they leave behind pathways for the next crop to follow. It's like handing your vegetables a map straight down to rich, airy soil. Ever since I started cover cropping, even in small raised beds, my soil structure has gone from hard and heavy to light and crumbly, exactly what plants love. But here's where it gets magical. The living soil community does half the work for you. Earthworms are natural aerators. Every tunnel they dig is like a tiny oxygen highway. Microbes breathe too, releasing gases that help move air through soil. The more I fed this underground community with organic matter, the more they rewarded me by keeping my soil open and oxygen-rich. It was like discovering that I had an entire invisible workforce beneath my feet, just waiting for me to stop suffocating them. And then there was water. This was my biggest mistake. I thought watering generously was the same as caring generously. In reality, I was drowning my roots. Waterlogged soil has no oxygen. It's like filling a room with water and expecting people to breathe. By improving drainage, raising my bed slightly, and learning to water deeply but less often, I gave oxygen a chance to flow again. The difference was immediate. My peppers stopped yellowing, my tomatoes finally developed strong, thick stems, and my leafy greens looked vibrant instead of limp. Today my garden looks and feels different. The soil crumbles in my hands instead of clumping. My plants are not just growing, they're thriving. And I didn't need expensive fertilizers or complicated gadgets. All it took was understanding that oxygen is the silent partner in soil health. Without it, everything stalls. With it, the whole system comes alive. So here's my challenge to you. Stop thinking only about what you're feeding your plants and start thinking about how they're breathing. Ask yourself, is my soil open, airy and alive, or is it suffocating under compaction and water? Make oxygen part of your gardening strategy, and I promise you'll see the kind of explosive growth that I'm seeing now. Your soil doesn't just need food, it needs air. Give it that breath of life, and you'll never look at your garden the same way again.